Hey guys, this is Josh here with your public service announcement. So I read an article online this week on hercampus.com written by Gina Escandon titled 5 Sex Taboos You Should Be Over by Now. And among those 5 were anal, period sex, and body hair. And I'm kind of jumping right into the topic here, but this is a timed assignment. So, the material we covered this week in class focused a lot on sex and sexual expression, not to be confused with sexual harassment or anything along that continuum of harm, but also not to go on any tangent about sexual preferences for individuals. That's not what this is about. I like that she used the word taboos because we're all raised and taught certain things as to what is acceptable, what is unacceptable, what you can talk about, what you shouldn't talk about, what's in which ways is okay to express yourself, and in other ways you should avoid. And for many of us, myself included, we were raised not to publicly talk about sex. You know, what happens behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. And that's not something that should be public information. Those are private things. They should remain private. And to a degree, I appreciate that. But at the same time, when taken to a certain degree, can really inhibit the expression of oneself and who you are. So with those, the 3 that I mentioned, I mean, consider what you think, like how you feel, how it makes you feel when I say anal sex. How does it make you feel when I say period sex? Like, consider the concept. And then how does it make you feel if you've had sex and whether or not you've shaved? So I left a few seconds in there so you can consider those things. But also consider if any of that made you uncomfortable, think about why. These are very common things in sexual relationships, and many of us are taught that these things are taboo and you shouldn't talk about them, or in the cases of anal and period sex, like, you don't do it, you know, or that it's somehow dirty. I want to quote you something here from one of the readings here, by Audre Lorde. It says, on the one hand, the superficially erotic has been encouraged as a sign of female inferiority, and on the other hand, women have been made to suffer and feel both contemptible and suspect by virtue of its existence. It is a short step from there to the false belief that only by the suppression of the erotic within our lives and in the consciousness can women be truly strong. And she goes on later to say that the very word erotic comes from the Greek word eros, the personification of love in all its aspects, born of chaos and personifying creative power and harmony. So consider that the things that we were taught about these things being taboo actually stifle your creative power and your harmony with yourself and your environment. So instead of teaching you that certain things like this is taboo, what if your parents had taught you about sex and, given, I don't know, it might be awkward, but given you like a realistic picture of what they went through, just like any other problems that they would have done, that they would have talked to you about to help you better approach these issues. So we're going a little long here, so I'll go ahead and wrap this up. I want to ask you guys, what taboos about sexuality and sex have you experienced at any point in your life that have kept you from fully expressing yourself as a sexual being? This can include the taboo of even talking about sex and sexuality. And if it does, please expand on that. Thanks.